What if Anakin Skywalker was made a Jedi Master in Revenge of the Sith? Would he still fall to the dark side? Or would he rise as the true chosen one, reshaping the galaxy, rewriting the Jedi Code, and forging powerful alliances that even Palpatine couldn't control? This is the untold story of what could have been. A destiny changed. A new balance in the Force. And a Jedi Master who defied fate. Keep listening, this is just the beginning. In this alternate Star Wars timeline, Anakin Skywalker stumbles upon the world between worlds, a mystical realm that allows access to different moments in time. With the power to alter history, Anakin faces critical choices that could change the fate of the galaxy forever. Anakin Skywalker was always searching for something more. During the chaos of the Clone Wars, he felt restless, as if the Force itself was trying to tell him a secret he couldn't yet understand. One day, while chasing down a lead on a mysterious disturbance in the Force, Anakin followed a strange energy signature deep into the Jedi Temple's ancient archives. There, hidden behind walls of forgotten knowledge, he discovered a secret door. The door was unlike any he had seen before. It shimmered with colors that seemed to move and shift, almost like a living painting. Anakin hesitated, but then stepped through. On the other side, he found himself in a place that defied explanation. It was a vast, endless space filled with glowing paths and doorways that seemed to lead to everywhere and everywhen. He realized this was the world between worlds, a hidden realm connecting all moments in time and space. Anakin was amazed but also afraid. He sensed the immense power here, a power that could change the fate of the galaxy if used wisely, or destroy it if used recklessly. As he walked through the glowing corridors, Anakin saw doorways opening to different moments. He peered through one and saw the future himself as Darth Vader, surrounded by darkness and destruction. Another doorway showed the fall of the Jedi Order, and yet another revealed the rise of the Empire under Emperor Palpatine. These visions shook Anakin deeply. He was confronted with the terrible consequences of his choices before they even happened. The world between worlds was a place of endless possibilities. For the first time, Anakin understood he could change his destiny, but the path ahead was unclear. Would he use this power to save those he loved? Or would he fall to the temptation of greater power? The answer would shape the future of the galaxy itself. Anakin stood silently in the world between worlds, trying to understand the full weight of what he was seeing. As he moved deeper into the realm, a glowing doorway opened before him, showing a vision of the future. In this vision, Anakin saw himself dressed in black armor, masked and feared by many. He was Darth Vader. The sight shocked him. He watched as the galaxy fell into chaos. The Jedi Order was hunted down and destroyed. The Republic crumbled, replaced by the iron rule of the Galactic Empire. Anakin saw the destruction he would bring to planets, friends lost, and countless lives shattered by his choices. The pain of these visions struck him like a blow. He never imagined that his destiny would be so dark and tragic. Then, as if the world between worlds knew his thoughts, the vision shifted. Another doorway appeared. Through it, Anakin saw a younger man, his future son, Luke Skywalker. Luke was standing in the ruins of a destroyed world, looking tired but determined. Anakin could feel the hope and strength in Luke's eyes. Luke reached out, not with a weapon, but with words. He spoke to Anakin across time, begging him to resist the darkness. Luke's voice was filled with sadness and hope. He told Anakin that there was still good inside him, that no matter how far he fell, he could still be saved. This message shook Anakin deeply. He had always believed that once he crossed certain lines, there was no turning back. But Luke's words showed him another path, one of redemption. Anakin felt the weight of the future pressing down on him, but also a spark of hope growing inside. The vision faded, leaving Anakin alone once more in the glowing corridors. He knew that what he had seen could change everything. Now, He had to decide what kind of man he truly wanted to be. The world between worlds had given him a glimpse of his fate, and now Anakin had to choose if he would accept it or fight to change it. Anakin moved through the glowing pathways of the world between worlds, searching for answers. Suddenly, a new doorway opened before him, showing a scene from the past. Through the shimmering portal, Anakin saw Padme Amidala standing on the lush fields of Naboo, her face filled with worry and sadness. He knew this moment well. It was the time when Padme was losing hope, the moment before her heart would break. Anakin's heart clenched. He could see her struggling to survive, her life hanging by a thread after the terrible events on Mustafar. Through the portal, he could hear her faint breathing, feel the warmth of her presence. A voice inside him begged to step through the doorway, to change what had already happened. Could he save Padme? Could he stop the terrible pain that was destined to come? For a long moment, Anakin hesitated. He thought of all the warnings he had heard about meddling with time, about how even small changes could ripple through the galaxy in dangerous ways. But this was Padme, the woman he loved more than anything. He could not turn away. His hand reached out instinctively toward the portal. Suddenly, the world around him flickered. The lines between past and present began to blur. Anakin realized that stepping through this doorway was more than a chance to save one life. It was an invitation to rewrite the fate of many. But the risk was great. If he altered the past, what would happen to the future he had already seen? Would his actions bring peace, or only greater chaos? The weight of these questions pressed down on him like a storm. Anakin's breathing grew heavy. He closed his eyes and thought of Padme's gentle smile, her kindness, her hope. A surge of determination filled him. He was not going to watch her suffer if he could stop it. With a deep breath, Anakin stepped through the glowing portal, ready to face whatever consequences awaited. Anakin stepped through the glowing portal and found himself standing on the fiery planet of Mustafar. The heat was intense, but his focus was on one thing: Padme Amidala. He saw her lying weak and fragile in a small medical bay, her life slipping away. Anakin's heart ached as he rushed to her side. He gently took her hand, feeling the warmth fading. This moment was different now he had a chance to save her. His mind raced, trying to remember everything he knew about the Force and healing. Could he use this power to pull Padme back from the edge? Anakin reached deep within himself, calling on the light side of the Force. He concentrated on the life still inside her. Slowly, he felt a spark, a tiny pulse of hope. The world around him seemed to quiet. The dark clouds of Mustafar's volcanoes faded into the background. Padme's breathing became steadier. Anakin whispered words of comfort and hope. She opened her eyes and looked at him with a weak but grateful smile. Tears filled Anakin's eyes. He realized that saving Padme was possible, but it would not be easy. The consequences of this moment would ripple through time. He had changed the course of fate. But as he held Padme, Anakin felt a shadow creeping close. He knew that Palpatine's plan was still in motion. The Sith Lord would not give up so easily. This victory was just the beginning of a greater battle. Anakin vowed to protect Padme and the galaxy from the darkness rising ahead. He would fight to rewrite his destiny. The world between worlds had given him a second chance, and he was determined to use it wisely. Anakin stepped through the glowing portal and found himself standing on the fiery planet of Mustafar. The heat was intense, but his focus was on one thing: Padme Amidala. He saw her lying weak and fragile in a small medical bay, her life slipping away. Anakin's heart ached as he rushed to her side. He gently took her hand, feeling the warmth fading. This moment was different now. He had a chance to save her. His mind raced, trying to remember everything he knew about the Force and healing. Could he use this power to pull Padme back from the edge? Anakin reached deep within himself, calling on the light side of the Force. He concentrated on the life still inside her. Slowly, he felt a spark, a tiny pulse of hope. The world around him seemed to quiet. The dark clouds of Mustafar's volcanoes faded into the background. Padme's breathing became steadier. Anakin whispered words of comfort and hope. She opened her eyes and looked at him with a weak but grateful smile. Tears filled Anakin's eyes. He realized that saving Padme was possible, but it would not be easy. The consequences of this moment would ripple through time. He had changed the course of fate. But as he held Padme, Anakin felt a shadow creeping close. He knew that Palpatine's plan was still in motion. The Sith Lord would not give up so easily. This victory was just the beginning of a greater battle. Anakin's moment of hope was quickly tested as a dark presence filled the world between worlds. From the shadows, Emperor Palpatine's voice echoed, cold and menacing. He had sensed Anakin's journey into the realm and was furious. Palpatine appeared before him, his eyes burning with power and deceit. He spoke softly but with a dangerous edge, tempting Anakin with promises no Jedi could refuse. Together, Palpatine said, we could rule the galaxy beyond time itself. No one could stop us. You have the power to shape destiny, Anakin. Join me, and we will bring order to the chaos. Anakin felt the pull of Palpatine's words. The Sith Lord's power was overwhelming, and the temptation to seize control was strong. For a moment, the darkness whispered to him, promising strength, peace, and the safety of those he loved. But deep inside, a small voice Luke's words, Padme's hope, reminded him of the light. Anakin tightened his grip on his lightsaber, feeling the weight of his choices. He realized that accepting Palpatine's offer would mean losing everything he had fought for. It would destroy the chance for a new future. With all his strength, Anakin resisted the Sith Lord's temptation. He took a step back, his eyes burning with resolve. You are wrong, Sidious, he said. I will not be your apprentice. The galaxy deserves better than your rule. Palpatine's face twisted with anger, but Anakin was already turning away. The battle for the fate of the galaxy was far from over. But in that moment, Anakin chose hope over power, light over darkness. He knew the path ahead would be difficult, but he was ready to fight for the future he wanted, one where the Force was balanced and peace was possible. Anakin's steps echoed through the shifting light of the world between worlds as a new figure emerged from the shadows. It was him, but not the Anakin he knew. This was Darth Vader, his future self, clad in black armor and a helmet that hid all humanity. Their eyes locked, two versions of the same man facing each other across time. Darth Vader spoke first, his voice cold and mechanical. You cannot escape what you are meant to become, he said. You will fall. You will bring destruction and despair. I am the proof. Anakin felt a chill run down his spine. He had seen the darkness waiting for him, but to face it now, so close, was terrifying. He raised his lightsaber, ready to fight for his soul. The duel began, fierce and swift. Blades clashed with sparks flying, each strike a battle between hope and despair. Darth Vader's moves were brutal and precise, the strength of years spent in the dark side. Anakin fought with passion and the light of the Jedi, refusing to give in. The fight echoed not just with energy, but with the weight of their shared destiny. At times, Darth Vader seemed to overpower him, but Anakin's heart burned with determination. He realized the true battle was not just with his future self, but with his own fears and doubts. With a powerful strike, Anakin pushed Darth Vader back. You are not my fate, he said firmly. I will choose my own path. Darth Vader's figure began to fade, his last words haunting. Some darkness cannot be undone. Anakin was left alone, breathless but stronger. He had faced the worst version of himself and survived. The encounter gave him a new understanding of his choices and the power to shape his future. He stepped forward with renewed courage, ready to rewrite his story. But not everyone was pleased. Emperor Palpatine watched Anakin's rise with growing anger. He knew that if Anakin fully embraced the light and became a Jedi Master, his own plans for control would be threatened. Palpatine's influence within the Senate remained strong, and he continued to weave his dark schemes. Anakin realized that his path would not be easy. The galaxy was still full of conflict, and dark forces lurked in every corner. Yet, with his new strength and the support of those who believed in him, Anakin felt ready. He was no longer just a warrior. He was a protector, a Jedi Master standing against the darkness. His destiny was changing, and this time he was determined to write his own story. Anakin stood on the bridge of a Republic cruiser, staring out into the endless stars. The galaxy was vast, filled with countless planets and millions of lives depending on the choices he would make. His mind drifted to the Mandalorians, fierce warriors who once threatened the Republic but now offered a chance for alliance. Anakin had long respected their strength and honor. He knew that joining forces with the Mandalorians could be a turning point in the war. He sent a message through the Jedi Order, proposing peace talks and a new alliance. To his surprise, the Mandalorian leaders agreed to meet. Anakin traveled to their homeworld, Mandalore, where he was greeted with cautious respect. The Mandalorian leader, Bo-Katan Kryze, stood tall and proud, her eyes sharp but curious. They spoke long into the night about trust, loyalty, and the future of the galaxy. Anakin promised that the Jedi and Mandalorians would stand together against the Sith threat. Bo-Katan, impressed by his honesty and determination, agreed to the alliance. This new bond was powerful. It combined the Jedi's wisdom and the Mandalorians' combat skills. Together, they formed a united front that sent a strong message across the galaxy. The Sith and their followers could no longer operate in the shadows. Anakin's alliance with the Mandalorians inspired hope in many systems. Planets once lost to fear began to rise up and join the fight for freedom. Anakin felt the weight of leadership more than ever, but also the strength of unity. He knew that the road ahead was still dangerous. But with allies like the Mandalorians, victory was possible. The future was no longer set in stone. Anakin had changed the course of history, creating a bond that could protect the galaxy from darkness. As he looked to the stars, Anakin smiled, ready to face whatever came next. Anakin sat quietly in the Jedi Temple, feeling the calm presence of the Force around him. He had spent months reflecting on the events that brought him to this point. He knew that the old Jedi code, strict and rigid, was not enough to guide the new generation. The galaxy was changing, and so must the Jedi. Anakin began to work with Master Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi to create a new Jedi code. They sought to balance the traditions with the realities of the galaxy. The new code emphasized compassion over fear, understanding over judgment, and hope over despair. Anakin believed that the Jedi should be guardians of peace, not warriors of war. He wanted the Order to be more connected to the people they served. This meant listening to the voices of all beings, not just following strict rules. The process was not easy. Some Jedi resisted the changes, fearing that the Order was losing its way. But Anakin's calm and firm resolve inspired many. He showed that strength could come from kindness and that courage included mercy. The new Jedi Code also taught that emotions were natural and not something to be suppressed, but understood and controlled. This change helped Anakin face his own struggles without falling to darkness. The Council voted to accept the new code, marking a new chapter for the Jedi Order. Anakin felt proud knowing he helped shape a future where the Jedi could truly bring balance to the Force. He knew the path would still be difficult, but now it was filled with hope. The Jedi Order would no longer be bound by fear and anger. Instead, it would be a beacon of light for the galaxy. Anakin's journey was far from over. But with this new code, he believed the Force was finally balanced, and the galaxy had a chance for lasting peace. Anakin stood on the edge of a quiet clearing, feeling the Force flow through him like never before. The galaxy was shifting, and with his new power as a Jedi Master, Anakin sensed the balance he had long sought. The light and dark sides no longer warred within him. Instead, they danced together in harmony. This balance was fragile but beautiful, and it gave him hope for the future. He thought of Padme, Obi-Wan, and all those who believed in him. Their faith strengthened his resolve. Anakin reached out with the Force, feeling the life in the trees, the wind, and the stars above. He knew the galaxy needed more than warriors. It needed healers, teachers, and guardians who understood the delicate dance of the Force. With this understanding, Anakin began teaching others the new path. Jedi, young and old, gathered to learn about balance, compassion, and strength without anger. His teachings spread across the Order, changing the way Jedi lived and fought. The galaxy began to heal from the scars of war. Conflict still arose, but the Jedi were ready with wisdom and patience. Anakin's journey was proof that even the darkest paths could lead to light. He believed the Force was not about control or power, but about connection and harmony. As the years passed, legends grew around the Jedi Master who changed the fate of the galaxy. Anakin's story inspired countless beings to believe in redemption and hope. He had become more than a warrior. He was a symbol of true balance. The Force was finally whole. And with that, the galaxy found a new beginning. Anakin smiled, knowing his destiny was not written in stone. It was shaped by every choice he made, and he would continue to choose the light.